All right, y'all. This is part two of trying to trade these funders and another live session for you guys. So today I'm definitely starting down as we know of yesterday. As we can see the P&L right here, down about 600 bucks. Definitely very, very recoverable. So I want to show you guys how to do this the right way, the structured way, the disciplined way, and the professional way as far as getting your money back. Meaning that I cannot risk more than 3 contracts per trade, mini contracts, of course. So you're going to see if we can start eating away at this drawdown and getting back in profit. So let's see what we can do. So what I'm looking at though, 15-minute gap here, I'm definitely thinking lower. As we can see, if we remember from yesterday, a lot of bullshit. Definitely thinking we can go lower, probably take out previous day's low. So I want to see if this 15-minute gap, honestly, here can help us do that. We currently have no low to the 15-minute candle as well, which is a great sign. So I want to see what we get. Obviously, I know when we're range bound, the extremes of the range, we want to be careful, but I definitely do like the idea that we see now of using this order block here on the hourly to continue to go lower. Also coupled with a 15-minute gap, also coupled with pretty equal lows as well. If we start crossing back above this high, I would be concerned for that and low key meaning that we're still very, very choppy. So we'll see what we get. Especially in these choppier conditions, I would want to see if uh our current low today can cause some sort of reaction. So yes, like I was saying earlier, I definitely want to see previous day's low, but I do like the low that we have here at 730 as well. Or at the low of the day as a potential draw too if we did want to come lower. Definitely just going to be watching this hourly order block. If we can stay within it, I definitely feel like we should go lower. 9:30 now. Let's see. 8:30 open prices right here. A pretty decent reaction from that double mark that we had. Just made a new low there. So there goes our 7:30 level. Wasn't able to get in. 7:19 is here as well. I'm about to hit both of those levels basically right now. Boom. And then we have another great level here at 700 if they did want to get overzealous. Only other place after this that I see is like the 600s for real. So we want to see if they want to turn it around from here, or I definitely can see a continuation down to the 600s. Not really much in that area. That would stop us. There goes 700 right there. That's everything in 2 minutes. So this is our first gap here. Definitely about to make another gap as well. So definitely gonna be watching this area to see if it gets traded through. I mean, use that as a resistance. So he came back to the weekly open. Might be a YM play coming in. Pretty equal highs at the high of the day. We got a nice target right here for YM, which is previous day's high. And we are right here at the weekly open. This is the previous candle low. Everything is just moving today. Not really giving much opportunity. Yep. Like those previous day high for ES. I mean, not ESYM. Mm. So looking back at the Nasdaq, definitely will focus on that 600 level. Basically, previous week's low definitely starting to look like a concern. Now that we're on the downside, let's go ahead and break up this wick here. We are right at the half point, so if they did want to stop here, this would be a good play. So I definitely want to see now how are they going to act here. We got about 2 minutes left on this 5 minute. We're going to make a 5 minute gap. SMT with ES currently. ES wasn't able to take out previous days low. Oh, well, I took it out early this morning. But we didn't take out and make a new low of the day. How we did here on the Nasdaq. Some pretty equal highs on ES as well. SMT at the lows. Some that know we are in the first gap for ES. Definitely like right here is a very important area to study. All right, in 5 minutes here. We just tapped into our first bullish gap of the day. Pretty decent reaction so far. We did just come into this 5 minute gap though. starting to favor us at least going to this first gap here. Pretty decent reaction from those higher time frame lows. So we are in that first gap now. This move is so nasty. It's not even really pulling back. It's just kind of just going up and down. I don't really like that. So this is our first gap. Pretty decent reaction so far for the downside targets. We do have S&T at the highs, so it's pretty obvious to see where we can get in. We're 939 would be our ATM. Definitely feel like this bullish gap will hold for the upside though, so it can be versatile here for sure. Let's see what they give us. So it looks like I'm maybe a little riskier and trade this 15-minute and 15-second inversion if I can get any up. Definitely monitoring this bullish gap here. So this is our ATM here. Seems like it's just sliding. I'm telling you, every candle is like, it's not even really giving me a chance to get in. And I hate chasing. Like, you can't even get like any pullback. It's just really been going straight down. Pretty equal lows with the low of the day. Monitoring this. We'll definitely try this inversion here. Potentially a move into this gap into the ATM. That'd be perfect. We have pretty equal lows currently. I definitely think anything above the 15-minute open, which is right here, will be fire. We'll try a little bit right there using this smaller ATM down here. Potentially may see a move above 945. Let's see how well we stretch. Can we get a stretch or how we act here? It's been moving so crazy. So I'm looking to see if we can go down here. Stops will be up here. Oops. Entry down here. Stops will be up here. Want to see if we can go down here to 600. Previous week's low now. Since we are rejecting that half point, I do like for us to go towards previous week's low. Definitely think 25% down here would be a good break even point down here at 630. That's 25% of that wick. So basically the last little point that we could worry about. You saw what? Where is that? Oh, what time frame? It's at 630. Oh, the body's up. All right, we do have the 950 macro starting in a few seconds. Let's see what we can get. I still do like previous week's low, but definitely in these conditions, you want to be more careful. Um, so I'm definitely monitoring to see what we can get, especially after yesterday. If y'all remember, I was up, but ended up taking a loss. So I definitely want to take something off here at this 25% point or break even. I think I'd much rather take the profit though, just to be safe. All right, it is now 950. I would want to see if this down close candle is going to offer us some sort of, excuse me, this up close is going to offer us resistance as if it's an order block. So I'm going to definitely be paying attention to this here. See how we act here. Basically this old low. I think I'm going to look to just take off one at that 25% point and then see if we can get our full stretch down to 600. Already starting to see some consolidation here, not really favoring that. We are getting an order block here. May look to try to come back into this gap here. Yeah, I can see that too. And I also see like basically most of the gaps have already been traded to, so they probably want to come back to that gap. So we in this gap here. I would want to see if this is going to send us lower. Not liking that type of speed that we just got from it. Definitely want to see what we can do here. This could potentially turn to a 5 minute ATM to the upside. We definitely want to see this gap hold for the downside. Definitely interested to see what this this is going to do this last hour. I mean, this last 5 minutes of the hour. I definitely would want for us to close lower. We definitely just got to see when we get there. Personally, would want that to be the high. We're going to move in that way. So I may look to reverse this position. I got y'all. I think I'm gonna take that small loss there. 159. I think I'm gonna reverse it to the upside. It's starting to look like a 5 minute ATM. to me. I definitely would want to see a close above this gap though. I'm not really liking the shorts anymore. Yeah, so I'm gonna try that long there. So basically just took the stop out on this short here for about 10 to 15 points, I believe. About 20. I definitely can see this upside play a little bit better now. Definitely just want to see what we do as far as just 15-minute gap getting made. I'm definitely going to keep stops extremely tight on this position here. I would want to see this gap hold basically. Definitely want this order block to hold if we're serious about going higher. Okay. So this would be the most I'd want to see for this long. I definitely am starting to favor the short again. Just seeing that reaction, but let's see what we get here with 10 o'clock. Yeah, I think I'm going to put this one too. I'm gonna just stay still for right now. So we did just take the high of 10 o'clock. Getting pretty good rejections from this 1 minute ATM here from 9:55. As ES is continuing to make new highs of the day, I am monitoring that. They closed in a pretty weird spot. What is this? I thought it was 700. I just half of the weekly wick here. So we took the previous candle's low and now moving higher on the 5 minute. If we can close outside of this 1 minute gap, definitely thinking we can go for like 730, potentially a new high day. This is starting to look like a low. So my position was right. I just got scared out. So I definitely would look at it at the half point of this 5 minute wick as a potential entry point. Right here, 712. Pretty decent reaction from 712 as of now. Hmm. So definitely watching that half point as a potential entry. I do like the immediate rebounds we just received. Let's see if we can actually get into that gap though. That'll probably be my entry point. I'm gonna see if we can go for a new high day. See if we can take the previous candles low here. Couldn't do it. So add in there. I definitely want to see if we can get into that gap because every gap has been traded to. Let's see if we have speed to the upside though. We just made a new high, starting to come back. Let's monitoring this half point here, see how we can use it. All right, I may look to add here, y'all. I do like how we took the previous candle low this 5 minute. I want to see if this can cause some displacement higher. So I just added there. I want to see if now this next 5 minute candle can start to push through, at least take out the high at 730 and then potentially start going for a new high day. We do have our first 5 minute gap here as well. I'd want to see support of that if we do want to come lower, which is fine, which it looks like we are coming to. Definitely, I'm going to monitor how this 15 closes as well. Obviously, still in a 15 minute gap. I'm just looking at everything else, seeing how strong it is. And we'll want to see that same kind of idea from NQ, especially using this 5 minute gap here. Now, if we start trading through this, we may just definitely be moving towards that low again. So I definitely will want this gap to hold. So that's our first close under that 5 minute gap. Personally, not favoring that. I definitely want to see some support here at this down close candle if we are going to try to go higher. Definitely looking like a new loaded 10. That's my current stop loss. So Definitely want to monitor how we use this first five. Do we start to reject it? That'll probably send me into my stop. If we can hold it, we can still try to go for those equal highs. As of right now, the five looks decent. We still do have about 2 minutes left, so we'll see what we can get. So we basically got to close right at the end of that first 5 minute gap. I mean, we did support this down close order block, this bullish order block, excuse me. It still just does seem extremely weak, though. I'm not gonna lie. Not really getting a follow through to the upside. So definitely want to see where our 10-15 high is right here. Definitely want to see what happens after we take this high here. Do we start to come back lower? How do we act? It literally just seemed like it was about to close outside of the gap and it did performed initially. So that's a new low to 1021. I mean 1020. I want to see us support that idea. Continue trying to move higher. I think I'm gonna close it there, yo. Definitely starting to favor a new low at 10 o'clock, potentially a new low of the day, but at least a new low at 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna just wait till the macro to see if I can recover some of this loss again. So let's see what we can get. Very unfortunate. I mean, try to force my will, it just didn't work. Cause as of right now, for these accounts, not looking the best. Uh, only got about $855 left to draw down. Haven't taken basically a winning trade on this account yet. I definitely see where I'm messing up, just getting in too late. I think that's the biggest thing. So I definitely just have to be patient as far as just waiting for the key time now to try to recover this if I can. We'll see what we can get though. I know we'll be able to bounce back from this, but definitely just got to be on point a little more. So I'm gonna just be patient and wait for the macro at this point to see if there's anything we can do. If not, we might just have to come back tomorrow and try it again. So currently I'm seeing a 5 minute ATM get formed for the lows. Seems like they're probably just gonna rush to the lows, however though. There goes the low. Definitely looks like previous week's low now. So it's 10:30 now. Definitely feel like our first hour's low is way more likely to get traded to. First, it seems like the high of the day is probably going to be in. Um, Definitely we have immediate rebalance on this 30-minute. 15 minute is now ATM. So I'd probably look for a continuation down to previous week's low now. Since we are obviously showing that we don't want to go higher, I would look to see for a continuation right here. This previous week's low is right here at 595. That'd be a good level to try to stretch for. So I definitely will watch these bearish gaps here. If we start getting above that, I definitely think the equal highs could potentially be a target. Definitely just want to monitor how we use these bearish gaps here, especially since we got a pretty nice close under the low. Let's see if we can continue down the previous week's low. a little short there. I want to see if now we can get that continuation towards previous week's low. Pretty close, liking how we're using this gap here. We also have a 5 minute gap if they did want to get into it. I think this can stay open before us going down into here though. Getting a good stretch here. Definitely just upset we went through a lot up here because definitely this would have been a great move to catch to the downside. It just comes with being more patient, you know. I think that's the biggest thing. And then missing initial trades, like getting in too low on the trades that I'm looking for, it usually messes me up too or too high in these instances. Like definitely got to do a better job of that. Definitely been a more consolidated week so far. Outside of today, this nice move lower. Just got to continue to be more careful. See if we can get this move down into previous week's low now. Yeah, previous week's low is right here at 595. That's a great level to go for. Nice 15-minute gap. If I was really just using this to try to go lower, that would have been perfect because I've seen how we rejected from the 5 minute gap here. That's why I got out of my initial long trade because I seen how we rejected the 5 minute gap, close below ATM right here to the downside. Obviously, I wasn't expecting this much of a run against it, but it would have worked really well. Maybe 1050 macro after taking this low out because that's definitely extremely important. We get something back within the range. I mean, that's probably gonna be my last trade. I know this trade is gonna do pretty well for me P&L wise. Gonna get me close to break even, not all the way, about halfway there to the break even point that I was at. But that's still fine. Still fine. Definitely just got to practice being a little bit more patient. And this is the reality of it. You know, I have a goal I want to reach just trying to pass these evals. I don't like taking too long for evals. Sometimes that bites you in the ass when you're not patient. So this is a great example of that. A great example of that. So basically right here at the 600s now, our previous week's low is literally right here. Let's see if we get a nice push into it. Of course, they're going to make it hard for me. Let's see if we can go ahead and get that. I think we should. Literally right here. Maybe a move into this gap will be fine. Real choppy market. Look how close we are to previous week's low. Starting to see some retrace. I think we'll still be able to get it though. I'm gonna put my stop at this old high just in case they want to come all the way back. That'd be lame, but I'll put my stop there. Definitely want to see how we act. Look at the 5 minute order block we just tapped into. Let's see how this gets used. Right? Previous week's low is right here, 595. There we go. Nice. Any stretches? I'm gonna take most off here. Bought back 12 there. One contract on for the rest of these. See if we get any stretch past the 595 level. Stop will be moved here. Wait, previous week's low is really right here. Am I tripping? So previous week's low is really 589. So, I mean, that was still good for me to take off that little bit there. Let's see if we go for 589. Yep, there goes 589. Let's see if we get a stretch through it. Nice, nice, nice. It's a nice stretch through it. Very nice. Can we continue? Can we get down to 570s? About to start a new 15-minute candle. Look at that stretch, y'all. Look at that stretch. Nice, 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 nice. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take that there. And we push lower. Should I wait for 1045? Yeah, I think it'll be fine to wait for a new low. We'll at least get that, I'm thinking. Pretty decent pullback. It may take us a little minute to get back to that 15-minute low. Definitely gonna move my stop above this high, so basically 600. I'd want to see if this gap is gonna hold to continue, make a new low, and then I'll go ahead and get out there. Or 600, whatever comes first for that last position. Getting pretty close to August, at least half of the range for August. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's the high of August. So 50% in August is about 400. Potentially could get down there. Now we're about to make a daily ATM. We have a volume imbalance at 516. Not bad either. So that's the new low there, I think. Is that the new low? Let's see if we get a stretch down in here. So my stop's now here. See where ES is. So ES just made a new low a day. They could try to run it back up now. Now that we've made a new low. Now 1050 macro. So I've been doing pretty well. We did take the previous 15-minute candle low under the weekly low. So anything can happen here. Potentially a run back into the range. Definitely watching this bearish gap here. So still respecting it as of now. I definitely would just watch to see what happens if we make a new low at 1050 since we're not really seeing delivery right now during this macro, at least for the first few minutes. Definitely act like they want to invert the gap. I'm gonna close it there. So now I'm down to about 200. Basically got back a lot of the loss that I made earlier, which is solid, pretty solid. But what I'm looking at now currently, I do see how most gaps have been traded back to today. So if we can get a close above this area here, this is a potential ATM to go for the 640s, in my opinion. So we took out the previous candle's low, coming back up pretty far so far. We're seeing that rejection. I'm definitely starting to favor that daily volume imbalance. Seems like we're trying to go into there. Could be a decent area to go for. Yeah, 520. So definitely looking like that daily volume imbalance. Never got to close for real above these two up close candles. But definitely we'll look for down here at five. It was 520. We do have a pretty open gap down here at basically 500 as well. That means anything above 11 o'clock should probably be a decent short to take us down into the 520 level. Or shit, down to 500, I feel like. So they got me early, left equal highs, tried the long, didn't work. It definitely would have put me in profit today if I was able to take that or able to really capitalize right here and not get in so late. I would have been good there as well. Cause it seems like target's about to get hit for today. I'm gonna have to call it today. I only lost 200, but still haven't taken a win in the past 2 days. I think the biggest thing is just getting in too late, like I was telling you guys earlier, and then trying to chase the other side. Right here could have been avoided. And then here I wasn't able to capitalize, obviously, since I was in the trade on the opposite side. So was able to get basically most of it back here, more than half. So I'll take that. Not bad. Stop wasn't even that high. Stop was right there. So not bad. Definitely just trying to do better though. This isn't the best performance for me. However, we did manage risk extremely well, so that's always a plus. But that's gonna be it for me. As we can see, this is the balance on the account down about 800. We'll get it back though. We will get it back and we will pass these accounts. I'll make sure that I do everything I need to do to pass these accounts. So stay tuned. I will see you guys on the next one.